So many people, so much product placement, and yet so much time I just wasted. New Year's Eve stars half of Hollywood, in which all these frickin' stories converge onto the big time at midnight in which we hit the new year. So yeah, that's basically a simple sum, because if I literally have to go into detail for how many frickin' plots are in this movie, it's gonna take up about 20 minutes right there. Last year when Valentine's Day released, it pretty much revived the gimmick genre, in which you take almost all the talent that there is in Hollywood and you put them into all these stories that converge on a certain holiday, like how Love Actually did years ago. I think it involved Christmas, if I'm right. You can correct me if you want below, but this time around it's on New Year's Eve, which you have all these different people from all across New York City, in which they're all trying to at least to get something well in their lives before the new year begins. So basically the way I can assume this movie is, it's basically like MTV's The True Life, in which you follow all these different people who are looking for the same thing, and it just follows them on and on and on until they finally hit a high or low point. Now, I have not seen Valentine's Day, and after seeing this movie, I am definitely not gonna see it for sure, because this is honestly one of the worst movies of the year, I'm not gonna lie. The movie has a constant shift between all these different plots that are happening, and it always leaves some with like a 30-minute gap in between the last time they jump up to each other. And there's even times where you go, oh wait, wow, I didn't know that was even in the movie. That's pretty much how fast you're gonna forget about everything that happens in this film, even just through the really long runtime, because this movie has so many pacing issues. But apart from that, though, is because all these stories that happen, you have seen in just about every single romantic comedy there is this year, and it's just filled with fluff and schmaltz like it's insane. The score even adds on to those parts where they try way too hard to get any type of emotion out of you, in which it plays right along when something that they think is called sentimental is going to begin. And they do that at least 30 times in this movie, I swear to God. If there's any positive things I did get out of this movie, it was some of the performances. For instance, I did like Michele Pfeiffer's performance. I thought she played a very good role, and Seth Meyers had me cracking up several times because he's a really great comedian, and it translates well in some scenes in this. So those two in particular saved this movie from being a total disaster. However, I did get some unintentionally funny humor from this movie, especially from the way it was shot in several scenes. I know everything is light when you watch the trailer for this film, but when you actually end up watching it, nearly half of this movie, everything is just as orange as could be, in which you can literally get two predictions out of that right there. A Jersey Shore cast member was operating the camera, or a Chester the Cheetah showed up and he accidentally smeared his paw across the lens. Of course, just besides the huge array of stars that are in this movie, you get cameos here and there, and even one that really surprised me in one part, for I wouldn't really think that actor would actually make an appearance, in which it was really short, but hey, I'll go along with it. Now, since this movie is set in Manhattan, there is a ton of product placement that will give Real Steel a run for its money, because there's brand recognition in just about every single scene. I'm not kidding around. You go in expecting anything more than the typical romantic comedy or ensemble that you see from the past couple of years, and including this year as well, you're definitely gonna hate this movie a lot, but I pretty much expected it what it was gonna be. A movie with tons of stories that have been redone in tons of other romantic comedies. Some performances were good at best and they saved it, so that's why I'm gonna give New Year's Eve 1 star. This movie really is as mediocre and cliche and schmaltzy as hell at points, but there were a few things here and there in between the running time that did save it from being one of the complete disasters of the year. So I hope you enjoyed my review of New Year's Eve. Stay tuned for my review of The Sitter, which will be up pretty soon. So in the meantime, Tar from Catacrypt Reviews, I got lots of videos coming for the next 4 weeks because I just finished my first quarter of college. So I'll see you guys in just a bit.